235-0576. Today's program is going to be a very special program because I've invited some candidates out here. The Honorable Representative Ora Toure, Opio Toure, and the Honorable Al Martins. And so we'll see who's going to show up today on the Clara Luper radio show. Be sure and call a friend. I would also like to invite Steve Coladas and Kevin Cox out. And I want you to know that KTLV is always open to all, regardless of race, beliefs, or what have you. Johnson Sardinas is located at 1643 Northeast 50th Street in Oklahoma City. Our telephone number is 424-4656. Now, if you're looking for expert child care, the search is ended. All you have to do is to call 424-4656. Ask for Mrs. Gloria Matthews or Mr. Paul Matthews. Johnson Jardina, 1643 Northeast 50th Street in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Leo's Barbecue is located at 3631 North Kelly. The telephone number is 424-5367. That's Leo's Barbecue, located at 36 and Kelly, where you can eat your cake and have it too. All at Leo's Barbecue. You know, I asked you last week to go out to Discount Carpet, located at 4301 South Penn in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. I want you to see Mr. McVeigh. I want you to see what can be done. The telephone number out there is 525-6700. Now, that's Discount Carpet, 4301 South Penn in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. This has been a tragic week for all of us. And certainly our sympathy goes out to those Americans that became a victim of one of the worst terrorist attacks in our history, in our naval history, and certainly our sympathy goes out for them. Today at 11 o'clock, funeral services will be held for Mr. Alonia Threet at the Tabernacle Baptist Church, and Mrs. Thompson, Ann, I'm expecting Ann to call me and tell me about the usher at Fifth Street Baptist Church, whose funeral will also be at 11 o'clock today. Mrs. Leslie's funeral, Mrs. Thompson's funeral will be at True Vine Baptist Church at 11 o'clock today. Speaking of insurance, how about your insurance? Allstate Insurance, located at 730 Britton Road. And April, Hildred, and Merlin are there to take care of you. Now, they aren't open on Saturdays, but they will be open Monday, bright and early. That telephone number is 843-0811. I've told you that I want you to go out to Discount Carpet. I want you to see for yourself. They have a sale on mattresses. They have a carpet sale. They have a sale on furniture. Take advantage of the opportunities that are offered at 4301 South Penn in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Today's program is dedicated to the sick and the shut-in. So many times we forget the people who are ill, the people who are not able to attend various affairs. But today, I'm dedicating my program to the sick and shut-in. And if you know anyone that's sick and shut in, why don't you give me a call and tell them that I'm with you? You know, a lot of people say, well, I'm with you. I'm with you all the way. Well, we'll see who's with us all the way. Karen Roth and the NACP Youth Council announced that they would be selling catfish dinners today at Freedom Center starting at 10:30 or 11. Now, that's 2609 North Martin Luther King. You want to help children? Well, go by and help the NACP Youth Council. Today's program is dedicated to the sick and shut-in. So many of you call me and say, Miss Luper, I wish I could go to church. I wish I could do, but I'm sick and I'm shut in. Well, this is your program, and you may call me at 672-1220. This is Clara Luper, dedicating her program to the sick and shut in. Wonder if you are sick and shut in, do you have an opportunity to get Lord's Supper Are those of us that are churchified, are we so churchified that we haven't taken our time to take you the Lord's Supper? Call me, 6721220. I would like to hear from you. Yes, I'm going to answer a lot of questions you've asked me if I were going to give away chitlins this year. I'm going to give away 1,000 pounds of chitlins starting in November. And if you know your black history, if you know the history of your country, get ready for some chitlins. I saw a friend of mine, Francis, who's one of my ardent listeners, who told me, Clara, I'm going to win those chitlins this year. I'm going to say, you're going to have to go some because we all have been studying history, whether it's black or white history, and we will be ready for that big 1,000 pounds of chitlins I'm going to give away this year. Along with that, you will have the opportunity to eat at Stale's Restaurant. Stale's Restaurant, a restaurant where you can get food in the Southern style. Good old Southern cooked food. Well, um, I was informed yesterday that Stales will be giving away a dinner, one dinner every week during November and December. This is a special time for all of us. And if you like good food, if you like good rolls, if you like homemade pies, you will enjoy it. And we will be announcing next week some others that will be doing the same thing. Yes, today's program is dedicated to the sick and shut in. Those who have never been sick, those who have never experienced being lonely. And they say if you think you have some friends, be sick for a day and you will see. Calvin Luper has arrived, and Calvin, I know you're ready to help me dedicate the program to an element of our society that I've never done it before.
Of course, Mom. But first of all, I have to say good morning to you. It's such a thrill. It's such a pleasure to be here in your presence here at the radio station and once again to be a part of the Clara Luper radio show. And I want those people out there in the audience that are listening to do me that favor. Do me the favor that I've got to ask you. Call that friend, call that neighbor, and invite them to be a part of the Clara Luper radio show. We are supposed to have some
Oh, they will be here.
politicians
Al will
here
be here, and
this
Opio will
morning.
be here
Mom,
because
Mom,
they told me they would.
Mom,
Now, I left the message
wait
for
a minute.
Calvin
Let me
Cox on
finish.
tape.
Let me finish.
Okay.
Let me finish. Now, when Kevin Cox walks in this door out here, Ted is supposed to give me the super signal. When Opio Torre walks in this studio out here, Ted is going to give me a super signal. When Al Mertens walks in this door out here, we'll get another super signal. And if Steve Cladis shows up, we're going to have a super signal going on. But then I want all of you out there to stay tuned to the Clara Luper radio show, because one thing about being a politician, this is a difficult show to be on because there are difficult
What's
questions.
difficult about it?
Well, Mom,
It's easy.
you are the
All I
you're
want to
the
say, how you doing, sirs?
no, I don't know. I bet the politicians that may show or may call that they won't be thinking that, because not only will you be just asking those nice questions, but your audience will be asking some questions that are definite. We're getting close to election time. We want to know. Now, we've seen the presidential debates, the vice presidential debates, but then that's a little far away from what's going on here in Oklahoma City. And those of us in District 99, those in District 97, we want to know. There's some questions that have to be asked of these politicians. Now, we hear your ads, but we want to see your face. But then, like I told all of you,
faces better be in the place.
I told all of you last week that were listening that they would not show up. And
They are going to
the
show
reason they're
up.
not going to show up because
It's
they
just
do
not
not want
9:15.
they do
will
not
be here.
they do not
They will
want
be
to
here
be
in living
asked
color.
questions by Clara Luper.
And the sick and shut in are listening today, and I
And
want
they
all
are.
of you that's sick and shut in, I want you to be ready to vote, and I want you can vote by absentee ballot.
Now,
This
you can.
is the Clara Luper radio show. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
That lady better watch out because David Hall gonna win those chitlins.
David Hall winning chitlins? David, you preparing a little ahead of time.
Oh.
But then, you got to be right now because we have some difficult questions this year.
Well, I'll be ready.
But the questions still will be coming, Mom, right from the Freedom Center wall, the Black History Monument there at 26 and Martin Luther King. And
Okay.
those plaques that are on the wall, the questions will come from there. The names, some of the names will come from the the names that are there on the
And
monument.
from Black History
And from
books.
Black History books.
And from American History books.
Uh-oh. Doing a
All
little
right,
American
all
history.
right.
Does David Hollis think he's ready, eh?
Okay, we'll
Okay.
see. We'll see.
But back to you and these politicians. Now, here we are on this beautiful Saturday morning. You know, we're 1 week away from Langston University homecoming. One day past the unlucky, supposedly unlucky Friday the 13th. And I told you last week that they would not show because nobody wants to answer the Clara Luper questions, especially on the Clara Luper radio show.
We'll see. I told you that I'm not in the process of endorsing, but I am in the process of exposing. And I want you to know that I've invited all of the politicians to be a part of the Clara Luper radio show because we need to know about people. We need to know what's really going on. And I have a lot to tell you about anniversaries because we are having some preachers' anniversaries tomorrow. And I'm going to tell you about each one of them. And so be sure and stay tuned. Maybe I should tell you what's happening at the Salem Baptist Church in Jones, Oklahoma tomorrow at 3 p.m. They are having a musical. And that musical will be something to remember, something to talk about. That musical at the Salem Baptist Church, the pastor, Reverend Carl Newton, invites all of you to be present. Kathy Sanders is the director of music. That's at 3 o'clock. Now it's a bridge out in that on that hogback road. So I'm gonna tell you that go to Hawassa to Memorial Road and turn right on Henny. And that will take you into 122nd Street and turn to the left, and you'll see Salem Baptist Church. I've told you. This is a Clara Luper radio show. Hello?
Hello.
Yes. Yes? Turn your radio down, please. Okay. Calvin is just walking. He doesn't think my guest will be here today.
I don't think. I'm
Yes.
pretty positive, Mom.
Okay, well, I have
That's
someone
probably
on the
one
line.
of their secretaries that was calling now to
No.
say that
Hello?
they wouldn't be here.
Hello?
But then we'll try again on this call here.
Hello?
But I think we done lost it. Let's go ahead and let's go further. And let me continue my enjoyable harassment of you, Mom, here on a beautiful Saturday morning. Waiting expectantly, all dressed up and all smiles and looking just as beautiful as you can look. Waiting on these politicians. One thing about it, if I was a politician and I was running for an office, and I knew that I had to be under the what would you call it, under the gun here on the Clara Luper radio show, not knowing who's gonna call, not knowing what they gonna ask me, and not knowing how to prepare myself. I think I'd be like Al Gore and Bush were. I'd have to call my advisors, and we'd have to have a conference, and I might bring all of them out here with me just to be a part of this show, because it can be some intense questioning going on. But then we have another call on the line. Maybe this is the secretary.
Okay,
or
I don't
someone
want to hear
her-
from any secretary.
You don't want to hear from no secretary. Well, good
morning.
morning. Welcome to the Clara Luper radio show. How are you doing?
Just fine. How are you?
Fantastic. You want to tell me what's going on?
Yes, Miss Clara Luper had just announced that my grandmother's funeral, Corinthia Thompson, was at 11 o'clock,
Yes, ma'am.
and it said at True Vine.
True Vine Baptist Church.
Okay.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for calling me,
Thank
okay?
you.
Okay.
Okay, bye-bye.
I'm dedicating this program to the sick and shut in today because I want the sick and shut in to know that we love you, we support you, and if there's anything that you need, just call us out here at, what's the telephone number out here, Calvin?
The phone number is 672-1220, Mom. But then, the sick and shut in that are here in Oklahoma that are listening here to KTLV, that's a very difficult thing to be is sick anyway. It's very difficult to be shut in anyway. And this is a time when we look, we look for the HMOs, we look for our doctors, we look for our nurses, and those people that are in the nursing homes, those people that are supposed to be taking care of us. And I hope that those of you who are listening, that you have the right HMO, that you have the right type medical coverage, and that you're having the right type of medical service being brought to you, because we want you to be a listener to this show for a long, long time. You may be sick today and you may be shut in today, but we're looking forward to that day when you can get out, when you can come out, when you can come around, when you can come down to Freedom Center, maybe on a Monday night, 7 o'clock at the NACP Youth Council meeting. Maybe you can just go out to your church on a Sunday. Just come out. Just think right, be right, and hope that your coverage is right.
Well, one thing I can tell you about, there will be a lot of anniversaries going on tomorrow in Oklahoma City. Reverend and Mrs. F.D. Roseborough will be celebrating 11 exciting years at the Paradise Baptist Church, located at 4617 Northeast 36th Street. There will be a musical tonight at 7 p.m. featuring Becky and Friends, the wonderful harmonizers of Huntsville, Texas, and the inspirational choir of Paradise Baptist Church. Reverend Micah Roseborough of the Eastgate Baptist Church of Dallas will speak in the morning at 11 a.m., and the Honorable Reverend John A. Reed Jr. will deliver that message at 3:30 p.m. at the Paradise Baptist Church. Well, Antioch Baptist Institutional Baptist Church will be celebrating 3 years under the leadership of Reverend Deborah R. Spriggs. Reverend Spriggs has had an exciting week. I think Reverend Howard, Reverend Hersey of Hammonds of Guthrie, Oklahoma, Reverend James H. Tucker, Reverend W.B. Woodbury have all participated in that service. But tomorrow, Reverend K.W. Austin of the Greater Memorial Baptist Church of Dallas will speak in the morning at 11 a.m. Reverend L.R. Drinkwater, pastor of the Redeemed Missionary Baptist Church, will speak at 3:45 p.m. Louis Bruner from Bristol, Oklahoma, will be singing tomorrow evening at the 5th Street Baptist Church tomorrow morning. Reverend Joseph Robinson of Hartford, Connecticut, will be the guest speaker at 11 a.m. Now, 5th Street Baptist Church will give the second pastoral appreciation for Pastor A. Byron Coleman, a native of Chicago, and Reverend Joseph Robinson of Hartford, Connecticut, will be the 11 a.m. speaker for this observer. He's a graduate of Morehouse College with a master's degree from Harvard School of Divinity. He is currently a financial planner with Ernest and Young. Reverend Lee A. Denson, pastor of the Northeast Baptist Church of Oklahoma City. His choir and congregation will be the speaker and guest at the 4 o'clock service. We all know Reverend Denson quite well, a native of Texas. We know he's currently continuing his theological education at the American Bible College and Seminary in Oklahoma City. Well, I've given it to you. You have a choice.
You told him.
Calvin is now 9:24, and my guest has not arrived.
Oh, Mom,
I wonder what happened last week.
Your guest
I
will
wonder
not
what
be
happened
here.
last week at the Midwest City Board of Education. I wonder what happened. I wonder how many of those
Carol
people from Pleasant Hill.
But I know your
actually
guest
showed
that
up.
you're expecting this Saturday morning. Mom, you should know. Now you should know. History has told you. History has shown you that politicians are not going to show up on your show for just a one-on-one conversation with you. Now,
But what do we need to do?
This is the best radio show in Oklahoma. And just to prove that, Mom, we have one of your ace reporters on the phone right now.
Okay, well,
Good
I want
morning.
to hear from
Welcome to the Clara and Luper radio show. Or should I say hello? How are you doing?
I'm doing fine.
Good.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Coco Thomas, your fantastic reporter. Today is a special day. Today, the NAACP Youth Council is having a fish dinner from 10:30 to 3. If you would like one, please come to the Freedom Center, which is 2609 North Martin Luther King. Also, I will be selling small pies. And don't forget, the NAACP Youth Council meetings are every Monday night at 7 o'clock. This is Coco Thomas, your fantastic reporter.
Go, Coco. You just go, Coco. Coco, how's school going on?
School is going fine.
today we are having a Let's Get Out and Vote catfish dinner. Why do you think people should get out and vote? Oh, he's here, ladies and gentlemen. Opio Toure is here. Where is Al?
We had one politician that showed up.
Where's Al? Where's Al? Is Al here? Oh,
wait,
well, I
and he
told you.
doesn't have anybody with him. He come on his own in the Clara Luper radio show. Who would have believed it?
Calvin,
Trials and tribulations.
I think you should apologize to me
Mom,
because when Opio tells me something, I know it's going to be.
Well, it is certainly here, but I don't know, yo. Congratulations.
Thank
Welcome
you.
to the Clara Luper
Well,
radio
thank you.
show, KTLV
Okay,
1220.
we're waiting
Call
on
it
Al.
friend.
We're
Coco.
waiting on Al. Where's
Coco,
Al?
when you register to vote, are you going to register as a Democrat or Republican? You still with me,
I'm
Coco?
going to register for a Democrat.
Okay.
Very good.
Well, why should people get out and vote, Coco?
They should get out and vote because their vote will make a difference.
Yes.
All right.
And when
Coco.
they do vote, they should take it serious.
Excellent.
All
Okay,
right.
are you going to encourage your people to get out and vote?
Yes, I will.
Okay, well,
All right,
thank you so
that's
very
Coco.
kind. And I'll see you advertise your pies. How about Miss Coleman's cakes, Mrs. Davis's cakes, and that good old catfish?
Well, that will be there. Mom, I am just flabbergasted. I'm just weak.
Oh,
as
bye-bye,
a daisy.
Coco.
I can't.
Al's
can't
gonna
you
walk in
believe
that
this?
door because Al has some ads out. He has some a lot of ads in the newspaper, on radio, and I want him to come face to face and tell my audience.
Well, we're 1 week from Langston's homecoming, so anything may happen. But I tell you what, I did not expect to happen, and I'll tell you that to your face, Opio. I did not expect you to show up.
Well,
I don't want
I don't know
Opio
what
to talk. I don't want Opio to talk until Al
to
get
show
here.
up. I
Because
did
I
not
want to be
expect
fair.
Steve Clara to show up, and I sure did not expect Kevin Cox to show up here
Okay.
on Clara Luper Radio Show. But call that friend, call that neighbor. You may want to call that politician, that young man, young woman that's running for office, young man that's running for office, and invite them to be a part of this, the Clara Luper Radio Show, live and in living color. We're here at 1220 on your AM dial.
Your one vote is important, whether you are ill or whether you are tired, it counts. Just think, one vote elected Adolf Hitler as the leader of the political party in Germany in 1923. This was the man that killed over, 4 or 5 million Jews. One vote saved the Selective Service Act of 1940. One vote elected Thomas Jefferson as President of the United States. One vote saved, just one vote now, gave John Quincy Adams the presidency in a deadlock election between Adams and Andrew Jackson. One vote was necessary for Oliver Cromwell to take over in England in 1645. One vote made Texas a state in the Union. One vote, just one vote. And let me tell you, your one vote count, and I want you to get out and vote. Now, my
It's
job
too
is
late
not
to
to
register,
tell you
is
who to, yes, you can't register now to vote in this election, but the presidency, you've heard all of them, and I'm waiting on Al, because I hate to discriminate. I don't want one candidate to have the advantage
Well,
of the
I'm
other.
here, Mr. Luper.
I'm
here.
Al, you told me you would probably be here. I'm looking for you.
You're not talking about Al Dallas getting married this evening.
No,
You don't
I'm not
expect him
talking
to
about
be here.
Al.
You're
I'm talking about Al Mertens.
Mertens.
Al will be here because he told me he would probably be here, and
Well,
we're
this
going
is
to hear
humorous,
from him
huh?
because Al is really working hard. He has an office. He has everything. He has all kinds. Okay. Cal, you don't believe Al is coming. You didn't believe Opio was coming.
No, I did, Mom, so I'm going to tear this
Well,
doll in there.
Opio is here,
Yeah,
and
Opio
we're going
Torre
to
is
wait. I
here.
know in 5 more minutes Al will walk in here,
Give
and we
it
will have
5 minutes. It's
representatives.
9:30 now.
It's-
You're
it's
really liberal with
9:30.
these politicians. I don't understand that.
What? What's being
Because
liberal?
I've been at the Miss Black pageant, and it says on the ticket it will start at 7. It's 7:0.1. The pageant starts.
I
I've
didn't
been
say.
at
I didn't say
CP's
what time.
Catfish.
I didn't say what time I would start
You didn't
talking
say
to
what
my
time.
candidates.
But I
Well,
know this. One thing about any of the candidates, even those that don't show, and
Well, they're going to show. Al will be here.
well, Mom, I wish you quit saying that because those of us that are listening and those of us part of the show, we know exactly what's going to happen.
Kevin,
With
have you
those
heard of the
people-
First Amendment?
I read about it. I've seen it. but I haven't often seen it in action. What about the First Amendment?
Freedom of speech.
What does that have to do with the
that
price of cotton
that has
today?
everything to do with it because I'm free to say what I want to.
Oh, you're a dreamer too.
Okay, I'm not dreaming because Al is going to be here because I invited Al and I invited Opio. I invited Kevin Cox. I just left the message
Steve
on the tape.
Clytus.
I invited Steve
Well,
Clytus.
okay, but
Now, Steve Clytus said he has a lot to say. Kevin
mm,
Cox has a lot to say, and I'm going to give them the opportunity to speak to thousands of people all over this state.
well, Mom, now you giving them the opportunity, and I congratulate you on that. But let's be realistic again. I keep telling you, you dream too much. Now, the fact of the matter is that there's a candidate that is here. There's a candidate that said he would be here. There's another candidate that would not answer your phone call, would not answer your door knock, but then that you left a good message there for them to let it be known. Last week you bragged about, yeah, I'm going to have all the candidates out here. We're going to have a big discussion. But, this is very important, whether they
It's
show
very
or not.
important that
Because
people understand
this
what's
is about
going on
us.
politically.
This is about
It's about
our
us.
this is
and
about
it's
our
about
community,
future.
and this is about our future. It's about where we're going to go from here. And I hope that in our discussions in your discussions that come up while you talk with the candidates that are here, that we do come to that point. Because it's one thing to laugh and joke about running for office, and then it's another thing to say about what you're going to do. But then when you get in there, or when you have the opportunity to get in there, then the proof of the pudding is. And I look forward to hearing about it here on the Clara Luper Radio Show. I anticipate. Let me pull it out again. I anticipate no show. If Kevin Cox show, then I just have to empty this pocket. Steve Clyde's show, I just don't know. Al Merton's show, I don't know. And of course, our representative from District 99, he's here. He said he'd be here, and he's here. So that's it. But it's now 9:32, Mom. Shall we
It's
go on with
9:32,
32?
and this portion of our program is brought to you by Maryland Hildreth of Allstate Insurance Company. Maryland urges you to get out and vote. Get out and vote. It doesn't make any difference how you feel. Sure, you got a headache. Sure, your knee hurt. Sure, but get out and vote because we have paid the price in order for people to vote. People have died in order for you to have the opportunity to vote. I don't want you to miss that opportunity. Well, I got 3 more minutes to wait on Al. If he's not here, I've got to interview the candidate that's here. Maybe Steve Clyde is one. I wonder if Steve knows how to get out here. I wonder if Kevin Cox. If not, next week is coming. And if I don't hear from him this week, I'm going to tell my people why next week.
Well, Mom, that'd be an easy thing to tell them. They just didn't show. But then,
No, it's
we're,
not that easy,
it
Calvin.
is easy.
It's a serious thing because, you can say anything and you can have a controlled ad. You can have a controlled newspaper article. But the people want to know the facts in the case, and they have a right to know.
Well, the facts need to be brought out, but then that has nothing to do with appearance on your show. This is the hot seat out here, boy. You just can't walk in here with a pre-planned piece of paper and say this and say that, because we know and you know, and we've seen interviews before here on the Clara Luper Radio Show where we're talking, where you get to the root of the matter, and that's, I think. Like, as we look back over the history of the Clara Luper Radio Show, there have been some super politicians that have been through here. There have been some big footprints in history that have made history here in Oklahoma and across this nation that have been a part of the Clara Luper Radio Show. So it's like Ted Koppel or somebody. They scared.
This is the Clara Luper Radio
Kind of like
Show.
them Forest Park men out there. They
Oh,
scared.
we want to know how many men attended last week. But
I
anyway,
think they scared, Mom.
I'm going to give
You
you.
done scared them.
No, I haven't
You
scared
done
them.
scared
They'll be here,
somebody.
and we will hear what happened at that meeting. But in the meantime, I do have a young man here. Would you state your name, please?
Opio Toure.
Opio. OPA, as it pronounced it?
Opio.
Opio Toure. Opio Toure, are you a native Oklahoman?
Yes, ma'am. I was born and raised in Muskogee, moved to Oklahoma City in 1977, Mrs. Luper.
Why did you move to Oklahoma City?
Well, I was going to law school. I finished Langston. I was down in Norman for a year. I didn't like Norman. My wife was teaching and supporting me here in Oklahoma City, and I decided that I should be the one that's driving and not her.
Oh, well, that's really good. Oh, and so you are married.
Yes, ma'am. Been
How
married
long
for
have you been married?
24 years.
What color are your wife's eyes?
My wife's eyes are black.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
they kind of dark
Wait a
brown.
minute. Now
No,
you
no.
say that.
I say black. I say black.
You
But
say black.
if you get close to them, they more dark
Okay,
brown.
well,
than they
you
are
have
black.
gotten close to her. You should
Yes, ma'am.
know. Okay, now who is your wife?
Linda Ware Toure. She is the 10th of 11 children of Odessa and Hazel Ware of Meridian, Oklahoma. I
Well,
met
how
her
many
like-
children do you have?
We only have 2 boys.
And she came from a
She
family
came
of
from a
10?
family of
How about
11.
your family?
I came from a family of 5, and I'm the oldest.
Oh, you're the oldest.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
here together you all have 15 and you all have 2 children.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, well. This is the Clara Luper Radio Show, and I'm interviewing Opio Toure, and I'm expecting Steve Claudius. I'm expecting Kevin Cox. I'm expecting Al Mertens. I'm expecting them all. I understand that you are a candidate for the seat that's very important.
Yes,
to
ma'am.
this
I'm
community.
running for re-election. I presently serve the residents of House District 99 in the state legislature, and I am running for re-election this year.
Why do you want to be reelected?
Well, I want to continue serving the people. I believe that I have given my best to try to make sure that the position of the state legislature and the House of Representatives is used to help build our community. I've tried to focus my efforts in 3 or 4 areas, making sure that we had opportunities for our youth, improving our economic situation, not only in Northeast Oklahoma City, but in other areas of the district. I've tried to make sure that our senior citizens' rights are protected, and I've tried to focus as much as I can on improving the educational system, because I believe that a strong educational system is probably the best way to improve the economic situation throughout our state.
Okay, now you have told me what you have tried to do, but what have you actually accomplished?
Well, I've accomplished quite a bit, and it's difficult for me to respond, though I have some things I can tell you, because I try to be modest, I try to be humble.
It's no use to being humble. No
Well,
use to being
I know, and
Give us the facts.
I have to sell myself, and I will.
You better.
I have to sell myself. First of all, I've tried to make sure that we spend an appropriate amount of money on providing opportunities for our youth. So when I got to the state legislature, we were not spending very much on programs that were going to intervene with young people who were in trouble and would prevent children from getting in trouble. So my very first bill that I got passed in the legislature was a youth development bill to provide opportunities for our young people, and then I have assisted in funding a number of agencies throughout the state, right here in Northeast
Okay,
Oklahoma
you
City.
say the Youth Opportunity Bill. How has that affected us here
Well,
in
I tell you what it
District
has
99?
done.
Yes.
It's reduced the amount of gang violence in Oklahoma City. It has reduced the number of juveniles that have gone through the system in Oklahoma City. We have opportunities for young people to work and obtain a work ethic. So we've funded a number of agencies: Youth Apprenticeship, Young Black Man's Forum, Latino Development Agency, Eagle Ridge Youth Activities. I've helped to secure about over millions of dollars to fund those agencies each and every year. This year, the Oklahoma Youth OJA, Oklahoma Juvenile Authority, did not want to fund 3 or 4 black agencies, just happened to be black agencies. I did everything I could to make sure that they were funded, and they were funded. Again, in terms of things that I've been able to do, as you know, I've mentioned earlier, I'm a graduate of Langston University. Historically, Langston was not funded on equal footing with other universities. When I first got to the legislature, I committed myself to doing everything I could for Langston. A couple of years ago, I was able to get a bond, a $400,000 bond forgiven, so that was a $400,000 appropriation for Langston. This year, I was able to get $800,000 for Langston University's Urban Center here in Oklahoma City, which is in District 99, to provide opportunities for our young people to go to college. They don't have to leave Oklahoma City if they want to go to college. They can go to college right here at Langston University, get an excellent education, and I would put Langston's education on par with any other university in this state. This year, I was able to get a bill passed that protects all citizens from abuses by health maintenance organizations, HMOs. Right now, many Oklahomans have to go to HMO for their health care needs. If you go to an HMO to go see your doctor, the doctor says, Toure, you need an operation, but you have to get approval from HMO. Your HMO won't give an approval, and you're going to die. There was nothing you can do against that HMO before I got the bill passed. It was my bill that allows citizens now to force basically the HMO to give them the needed treatment that their doctor prescribes for them. And if they don't do it, then you can sue the HMO. Before that, you could not sue
What
the
was the
HMO.
name of that bill?
The bill, there was two bill numbers, 1512, I believe it was 1512 and 1526. There are two different numbers. If you hadn't asked me that, I would tell you right now. But the bill is one of those bills. Interestingly enough, the bill is one of those bills that I'm being heavily criticized by this outfit that says I'm anti-business, because I make sure that the citizens of this state are protected when they need health care treatment. And the folks who run these big business research institutes, they call themselves, say I'm anti-business for sponsoring that type of bill.
Okay. So that's what you have done.
That's just a little bit of what I've done.
Okay, well, tell me some more.
Well, I tell you something else I've done. The other day, and I'm doing it again Monday, we were able to award about 45 scholarships to young people in Oklahoma City. We have a state program called OLAP, Oklahoma Higher Learning Access Program. It's a program that would give a scholarship to every student in the state of Oklahoma who finishes high school with a C-plus average in core curriculum, a C-plus average now. They have to enroll in their 8th, 9th, or 10th grade years. It's geared toward those families who would not have funds otherwise to send their children to college. So if you make up to $50,000, you qualify. Most people in our district make $50,000 or less. So just about every child in our district would be eligible for this scholarship.
Well, you only have 45.
No, that was 45 who signed up. Every student is eligible for it. You have to sign up for it.
Where do you sign up?
Well, we had a meeting at John Marshall High School on last Monday. We'll have a meeting again this Monday at Moon Middle School. Every 8th grade parent, every 9th grade parent has been sent a letter from me inviting them to come to this meeting, telling them that if they come, I promise their child a scholarship as long as they comply with the regulations.
You're telling me that every child in your district whose income is lower than what?
$50,000.
Oh, well, that's most of us.
Yes, ma'am.
Then you're saying that that child will be able to do what?
Get a scholarship, get a college tuition scholarship. And what they have to do two things.
Okay.
They have to enroll in the program in their 8th, 9th, or 10th grade. They have to enroll. They have to sign an application form. They will be accepted by the regents, and they must maintain a C-plus average in their coursework in certain core classes, your math, your science, your English or language arts, and I forget the fourth area right quick. But what I'm saying to you, Mrs. Luper, that every child we have, in my opinion, and it's a humble opinion, but in my opinion, can achieve a C-plus average with encouragement and support from their parents and assistance from the dedicated teachers we have in our systems. I think that every child can achieve that C-plus average. If they need some tutoring, that's fine. But it's a wonderful opportunity, and I'm making sure that our residents in House District 99 have an opportunity to get it and have the resources, the wherewithal to go and get it.
How about the students in the 11th and 12th grade?
Well, right now, there are other programs that may be available for them, but the OLAP program, you have to sign up at the 8th, 9th, or 10th grade years.
Do you feel that as a representative, and you've been there for how many years now?
I've been there 6 years, Mr. Luper.
Do you think you have stayed in contact with your constituents?
Yes, ma'am. Let me tell you how I've done that. Periodically throughout the session, I send letters to constituents. Every neighborhood association meeting that I'm invited to, I attend. I send questionnaires to neighborhood associations so that they can distribute them to their members. If a citizen comes up to see me at the Capitol and I'm on the floor, my secretary has instructions to pull me out of the floor, off the House floor, even when I'm voting. I try my best to return all the phone calls I have. Sometimes folks miss me. Sometimes I miss them when I return their calls. But I try my darn level best to return phone calls. And I try to go as many neighborhood meetings. I try to go as many church functions as I can. I do have a post at my own church, so I don't leave my own church at 11 o'clock. I'm somewhat selfish by that. I make coffee for my Sunday school, and I'm a substitute Sunday school teacher. So I can't miss 11 o'clock service at my church. But a 3 o'clock service, a 7 o'clock service I'm invited to, and I try to get around as much as I can. So I'm accessible. And then one other thing that I try to do, I try to support our children in various activities. Over the years, I've mentored over 100 children at the state capitol alone, Mrs. Luper, giving them an opportunity to come and serve as pages, to participate and to observe government, I've given that opportunity to children, and I would say by and far I probably have used as many pages, probably more pages than any other representative or senator in the state legislature the past 6 years.
According to the Daily Oklahoman, you have been rated very low as a representative. How do you account for that?
Well, two things. One, the Daily Oklahoman is a very, very conservative newspaper. I'm trying to do some research if the Daily Oklahoma editorialized in support of any civil rights measure, because I don't think they have. I've noticed that they may give a civil rights leader a clap on the back 30 or 40 years after they've done anything, but I can't find in my research where the Daily Oklahoma has ever supported an ongoing initiative. I've always been in support of civil rights. I support the hate crimes legislation. I supported, before I got in the legislature, declaring a holiday in support of Dr. Martin Luther King. Those things that the Daily Oklahoman opposes. They oppose racist hate crimes legislation all the time. I support the right of working people to organize labor organizations, to represent them and to get fair wages. The Daily Oklahoman does not support that. I support raising the minimum wage to a point where people can actually have wages sufficient to live, a living wage. The Daily Oklahoman doesn't support that. I do not support right to work. The Daily Oklahoman supports right to work. I support affirmative action. Daily Oklahoma does not support affirmative action. I'm defending the lawsuits that have been filed to destroy our affirmative action programs in Oklahoma. The Daily Oklahoma wants the affirmative action programs destroyed. So they rate me low because I support the things that I think address the needs and concerns of my people, our people, the people of District 99, and the Daily Oklahoma opposes those things. I'll tell you one other thing, Mrs. Luper. It is no question in my mind that we need more African Americans in positions of policy making. I support, for example, a young man who has been nominated by President Clinton to be a United States federal judge, Melvin Hall. The Daily Oklahoma says, no, we don't need Melvin Hall. We don't want Melvin Hall. Melvin Hall would be an activist on the court.
Well, it's also been reported that they cannot understand why the Black Caucus would come out against Russell Perry as a cabinet member and then support Melvin Hall.
Well, those are two different cases. You're absolutely right. The Daily Oklahoman wanted Mr. Perry confirmed. Senator Munson had the opportunity to confirm him or not confirm him as a state senator. I didn't have any power. I have a voice as a citizen, just like you and others have a voice as a citizen. I have some views on each individual that the Senate confirms. I don't express those views outwardly because I don't have a position of influence with the state Senate. So when they say the Black Caucus, now I'll tell you one thing we did do. When Senator Munson was attacked for her decision, we supported her because every representative ought to have the right to make a decision in good conscience and not be attacked for that. And the way that Senator Munson was treated was unfair. Now, I supported Senator Munson. I stood with Senator Munson because she's my senator. She's my senator, and I did what every other person would do, should do, to say that our representative, our senator, has a right to vote their conscience. And if you don't like the way they vote, that's fine, but don't attack them and on a personal basis. Don't attack their character. Don't attack their integrity. Because Miss Munson, Senator Munson, is by far has more integrity and is of high moral character as anybody else in the state legislature. So the Daily Oklahoman can support who he wants to support. But I tell you, I do not believe the Daily Oklahoma has ever supported the election of any African American to the state legislature. I don't think they supported Hannah Atkins when she ran. I don't think they ever supported Senator Porter. I don't even think they ever supported Ava Arsenio Johnson.
Okay, now let's get off of that case.
Well, you asked me, and I tried to respond.
You're standing up. He's standing tall and talking tough.
Okay.
I'd like to remind everybody that this is the Clara Luper Radio Show. And, Mom, we do have a call on line 1 that has a question for Opio.
Okay, we need the question quick.
Good morning. How are
Good
you
morning.
doing?
Am I on the air?
Yes, you are.
As a businessman, Opio, why would I want to locate a business in your district knowing that you're, as a district, knowing that you're state representative, you are the most hostile to business and cannot be counted on to do the right thing for small business owners?
Well, first of all, that's an absolutely outrageous misstatement of my intention. If you ask the average black business owner in Northeast Oklahoma City if OPO 2 supports small business and minority business, they would tell you yes. That's why I'm one of the members and supporters of the Oklahoma Consortium for the Development of Minority Business. That's why I am active with the Capital Chamber of Commerce. That's why I introduced a bill and got it passed this year to give incentives to businesses that locate in depressed areas, which includes Northeast Oklahoma City. I do not support right to work, I tell you that. But if you look at my voting record, every bill that's been passed that is friendly toward business, I voted in support of that bill. The rating that I was given is not a correct rating, as I said, because I have done that. I've supported every bill that's been passed by the legislature that helps business. I've supported it. I've co-sponsored many of the bills. I was co-sponsor of a bill that gave a tax cut to businesses on unemployment taxes.
But, Mr. Teray,
Well, listen, I'm trying to respond. I'm trying to respond.
Wait a minute,
Okay, I'm
Mr.
sorry.
Give him
Go ahead.
a chance to ask. Okay.
Go ahead with your question.
well, my question was, isn't it true that there were also Democratic Party representatives that were rated very high on this same rating? And why do you feel that you were unfairly singled out when other Democrats were also rated much higher than you with regard to being business friendly?
Well, I didn't say anything about partisanship. I said what my record is. And if you
But you said that the Oklahoman was going out against you because of whatever reason. And that's what I want to know.
Well, the
Because
Oklahoma
they've been bipartisan, it looks
No,
like to me.
the Oklahoman is not the agency that did that business rating. This agency that did the business rating has the initials READ. I forget what that stands for, but last year they gave me the same type of rating. They rated me as the worst, but when they gave the votes for each member, I had voted the same way as the Speaker of the House. Yet they gave me a final score much lower than the Speaker of the House, and they gave me they took off a lot of points. They said for advocacy, but they couldn't explain what they took those points took those points off for. This year they have cleverly not given you each bill and showed you how each representative and each senator voted on that bill.
So why would you believe that they're picking on you?
Well, I tell you why. Because I do not support right to work. I support affirmative action. I believe in making sure that the playing field is level for all business.
I hate to
and I tell you, that's the reason why.
Wait a minute. This is a Clara Luper radio show, and I think all of you are coming. Today I'm dedicating my program to the sick and shut-in, and I want you to vote. I want you to vote by absentee ballot. Now you're talking about what you have done. What are you going to do if you're reelected, OPO 2?
I'll tell you what, first thing we're going to do, Ms. Luper. In the area of education, we're going to do our very best to help Oklahoma City with its severe maintenance problems with its buildings. One of the things that we found is that a 60% approval rate, the supermajority approval rate necessary for school bond elections, does not work in the interests of bigger districts. We're going to try our best to get that law changed. I tried last year. As many of our listeners know, we have a legislature that has a number of rural members who think that that's unfair toward them because they have a lot of their constituents are farmers and big landowners, and they believe that there ought to be a 60% approval requirement required for bonds.
What else?
We're going to do something about that. We're going to do something that furthers helps to eliminate the racism and the discrimination in our jury system. I firmly believe that every person who's accused of a crime or who has a conflict to be resolved in court ought to have a jury that is a fair cross-section of the population. And right now, we still have situations where people cannot see a fair cross-section of the community jurors because
I don't mean to cut you off, but I noticed you didn't mention the fact that you authored a bill to name a highway after Clara Luper.
Well, that's one of my greatest bills. I was saving the best for last. I was saving the best for last.
OPO Manuel will call on line 2 here that is anxious to ask OPO a question.
You better hurry and do it.
I think it's in regards to
we got to go
something.
eat some catfish.
Okay, good morning. Welcome to the Clara Luper Radio Show.
Good morning. I know I don't have but 1 minute
That's
to
it.
talk, but I want to say hello to everybody in Radio Land. I want to thank OPO for coming.
Good morning.
And Mrs.
Thank
Luper,
you.
remember, I'm still looking for those others that's supposed to come.
They
If
are
not, I'm going to
They're
have
on their way.
catfish dinner. I'm sure you're going to give me a free catfish dinner. But one
Oh,
thing
I
that I
see.
think I was really wanting to ask him, what is his plans for our educational bill? Because I'm very, very much dissatisfied with the way our educational program is going now, and I'm wondering what kind of educational bill or program is
Wait,
thinking
wait,
about
wait,
sponsoring.
wait, you should
And,
be
hey,
Mrs. Hunter, you should be happy they're spending $16,000 a year on the smart kids up to that smart school on Lincoln
Per student,
Boulevard
yeah.
and
and
I guess
per
they're
student
spending
and
$6 on
6,000.
those that's not. So maybe this is why we're having the kind of elementary schools.
Okay.
Because to me, more in these elementary schools, grades 1 K through 6, it's more than teaching is more than opening a book and say, look at page 10 and work 12 problems, or open page 3 and read that story.
Okay, Mrs.
Okay,
Hunter, I'm
and
have to
another
cut
thing
you.
I want to mention, hold it now.
Okay,
I
I'm
did want to
hold
mention
it.
that on October the 16th at 7 o'clock,
Yes.
the program that OPO just got through talking about for parents to come to sign up for this educational program is
Yes.
October the 16th at 7 o'clock, and that's going to be at FD Moon.
Okay, Miss Honey, you've told us now. You just go and get that catfish ready.
I'm going to get that catfish ready.
Okay,
Thanks.
Opio, could you have
Well,
one
very
minute?
quickly, we have to improve our teaching corps. Right now, we're losing our best teachers, and so I'm involved in an effort to increase not only our teachers, increase the number of minority teachers, increase the number of male teachers, but also to raise the salaries of teachers so we can keep those, our very best teachers who now are leaving the system or moving elsewhere. We need to make sure that we have the very best curriculum possible at every school. Core curriculum, for example, seems to be a curriculum model that improves education. We want to do that.
Okay.
Okay.
This is a Clara Luper radio show, and I told you that I was not going to endorse, but I was going to expose. I've exposed you for the past 30 minutes to opioid Toure, and I want you to look at the situation. I now appeal to the other candidates to be my special guest. This week, I'm going to have to buy somebody a catfish dinner. Come on up to Freedom Center and get your catfish dinner.
That's
Don't
right.
forget that. If you love me, prove it, baby. Don't talk about
Well,
it. Prove
you know,
it.
Mom. You know one thing about
Yeah, we
proving
better
it to
get
you.
ready to sing
I'm
happy
ready to
birthday.
sing, but then I got to say this, Opio. You know, you beat me fair. Well, those of you who don't know, Opio and I
Beat you
ran.
fair and
he beat
square.
me fair and square. He's done a great job there in the state
Thank you,
legislature,
Kevin. Thank you.
and I feel like
I feel like
Ali
you,
and
I
Frazier.
feel like
know?
you need to shut up. I feel like you need to shut up
I
and
got the
sing.
Frazier part of this deal, but at least we've done something though
He
to help our
hasn't invited
community.
you to sing at the Capitol.
He has
Okay,
not.
who are
That's
you
right,
singing?
Opio. You have not invited me.
Who are you
Well,
singing
we
happy
can sing.
birthday to
I
today?
sing which night?
You
See, at the Capitol, I'm the one that sings Happy Birthday.
Okay, you
Yeah, I sing
All
Happy
right, but
Birthday.
this is a
Okay.
very special Saturday. This is the week before Langston University homecoming, and Mrs. B.J. Tucker, I know you're listening out there, and I want to compliment you and congratulate
Tucker.
Mrs. B.J. Tucker, BJ's Boutique,
Sing it,
located
Calvin. Sing out of
730
your
West
heart.
Britain
Sing
Road.
out of your heart.
B.J. Tucker, mother of 5 children, 12 grandchildren.
Prove that you can't sing, Calvin.
And one
Hurry up,
thing about it,
please.
First Lady of the great church, Mrs. Tucker. This song goes out to you especially.
That's New
from my
Zion
heart.
Baptist.
New Zion Baptist Church. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Mrs. Tucker, your birthday was the 12th, but happy birthday today to you. And may you have many, many more.
This is a Clara Luper radio show. Calvin can't sing, and Calvin says a lot of preachers can't preach. A lot of teachers can't teach. But I say stay out of trouble. I'll see you in a few minutes.
Freedom Center.
Yes, you'll be eating
2609
catfish.
North
Bye-bye.
Martin King.
Bye-bye.
We'd like to thank each and every one of you for tuning in to the Clara Luper Show. Join Sister Clara Luper here each and every Saturday from 9 until 10 at your number one gospel station, KTLV. And until next Saturday, may God bless you.
And the views and opinions expressed on the preceding program were not necessarily those of AM Radio 1220 KTLV.
This is your key to living victoriously. KTLV, Midwest City, Oklahoma City.